All right, so all of you that wanted to have a look in this thing, let's go in and have a look. Hi, this is Brian from Northwest Bronco. Welcome back to the channel. About 2 videos ago, I went out here exploring and I found an old bunker and went ahead and filmed the whole thing, but I didn't go in the bunker because it looked like it was about ready to cave in. After I got done editing the video and I posted it, pretty much every person I knew and a lot of people posted that, hey, how come you didn't go in the bunker? Even my own wife made fun of me, basically saying you're a big wimp for not going in. So this trip is only going to be 1 day, and then I'm going to camp somewhere out here tonight, which we're going to film that too. And this road is pretty bad that leads out here, so it takes a little bit to creep out there. Right now it's 2:30. All right, so let's hop in the Bronco and get going. All right, so I'm just kind of taking a look at the map here, trying to decide how far we have to go, and it looks like it's a grand total only about 3/4 of a mile. So we're just gonna poke our way down this road here and see if we can find that bunker again. So another new thing for me is I'm no longer filming on my phone. I got one of those DJI action cameras because I use the DJI mic. So I got the camera to kind of match it, because before, in my last videos, I'd always lose my microphone because it wouldn't connect with my phone. I got tired of it. So I have a whole bunch of these different mounts on the Bronco, one on the back to film my cooking area, one right here so I can film kind of my map area when I'm mapping down below here, and then one looking at me, and then one facing forward out the dash. So it's kind of a quick disconnect mount. It's pretty cool. So hopefully this video turns out okay. Right now I'm filming in the widescreen. But if this doesn't work out and this video turns out weird, then the next time I film a video, I'll just put it to regular screen. But we're gonna give widescreen a try for this entire trip. Okay, so before we take a look at the bunker, I wanted to answer a quick question about this revolver you see me carrying around every now and then. And why I have this revolver is, I used to have to carry around tripods, the camera, and metal detector, everything on me, plus the shotgun for snakes. And then my buddy Nate from Off-Grid Recon kind of turned me on to the idea. He goes, why don't you just get a little revolver or of some kind that'll shoot these little pest control rounds. So that's what I ended up doing. So the rounds that are in this revolver are CCI 22 mag pest control rounds. It's like a little tiny mini shotgun round. And the revolver that I use is just the, what is it? It's a Heritage Barkeep model. It's a little 2-inch barrel thing. And it's nice and lightweight, compact. It's so small that sometimes I even take it and just put it in my back pocket when I'm just gonna go on a short trip and back again. But most of the time I just carry it right here. So, and all it's for is for snakes. So if you wanna have a quick look at it here, so you can see how small this thing is. It's so small that it doesn't even have an extractor rod right here. So all you have to do to get your shells out once you shoot is you just it comes with a little rod and you just push them out like this by hand. So I'm not interested in quick reloads or anything like that because I'm not really in a gunfight. I'm just trying to kill a snake. All right, so all of you that wanted to have a look in this thing, let's go in and have a look. Okay, here we go. Kind of creep my way under this log. Take a look at the entrance here. Pretty heavy timbers right at the entryway here. See the door here is pretty solid. Some nice wood there. Metal sheeting there. Nice big clasp for a lock. It'd be cool if we can find the door out there somewhere. All right, let's go in. So to the left, looks like it's just a plain old rock wall. Top looks pretty good. Nice and solid up there. Doesn't go very deep. It's not as deep as it looks on camera. And to the right, I'm going to guess that this was his or her sleeping bed, like a sleeping platform, if I had to guess. These logs up here really don't look that old now that we're in here. So maybe this is something a little bit more modern. And I think it looks to me like this might have collapsed. So, because you can kind of see the bed goes in here and then it just stops. And then this is all kind of down and in when it should be just a rock wall like the rest of this. So I'm kind of wondering if they had a rain at some point and this all just kind of caved in on them. But I don't know that for sure, but it is pretty neat in here and it's nice and cool. So if you were to be in here on a hot day, not a bad gig at all. Oh God, if whoever built this is watching, it could have made the door a little taller. All right, we got out of there in one piece. Now I got this new piece of kit I'm gonna try that goes along with that camera. And it's this laser tag looking thing. And supposedly I can just hook it to my chest, aim it forward or down. And that way when I, look for stuff, you'll be able to just look down on it and not have to sit and point the camera. So that's what this thing is. Let's give her a go. All right, so here we are kind of on top, not standing on it, but right up above it. And you can see they have a stovepipe sticking up. So they either had a stove in here at one time or they were planning on putting one in. And if you look around the perimeter here, you can see right here, there's a big moat that's been dug all the way around this thing on the upper side, which leads me to believe that they didn't want water to come down this hill into their structure. Okay, well I think we're gonna call it for this area. We didn't find anything else. I went around the whole bunker and then across the street here and didn't find anything. So I'm gonna take off my laser tag thingamajigger. So I think I can kind of correct myself a little bit on what I think that is. I think it is a fallout shelter or a bunker of some kind, because there's no way kids or someone would have done that for fun. It's just way too much work. So, but I don't think it's that old. I think it's within 10, 15, 20 years. So just by the looks of the timber inside. So I think what we are going to do now is head on down the road and find 2 more homestead sites that I know of. Whether or not I find something, we're going to have to find out. But let's go head over to those other 2 homestead sites and we'll probably have a little bit more luck there. All right, I'm just taking a look at the map here to see where we're gonna go next. What we're gonna do is hit, I don't know if you can see these or not, but I'm gonna hit these 2 spots. I have one here and one here. What I'm gonna do is hit this spot and then come back and then hit that spot over there. So we're not gonna do the full loop because this part here is pretty bad. So this spot, metal detection, a little more looking, and after that, we'll probably be looking for a place to camp. All right, I was just cruising down the road here, and I've been down this road before, but I've never seen this. And I saw something on the side of the road, so I thought I'd just kind of stop and take a look and show you guys what it is. And I don't know what it is either, because I've never seen this before. But you got a bunch of cans, it looks like, everywhere. You see some cans right down in here. Oh, that's a foundation to a house, I think. I think there was a homestead right here. All right, let's take a look around. Okay, so there's the Bronco, and here's where the homestead is. It's pretty cool how you can still have the flooring here to the on top of the foundation. You don't see that very often where that still exists. There's actually a lot of wood still left here. Looks like in the middle here, there's some glass. Right in here. Looks like it might have been a window. Looks like a whiskey jug. Glass, maybe? Ah, here you go. Purple. A little bit of purple glass. Mason jar. And here is a piece of, looks like a piece of a plate or a bowl, maybe. I am so excited I got to see that. I can't believe I didn't see that before, because it's not that far off the road and I've been down this road before. But it just goes to show how easily you can miss these things if you don't keep your eyes open, because nothing's sticking up real high. Everything's usually pretty low. So we're gonna hop back in the Bronco here and keep on going down the road. Okay, as always, I can't help myself, and I had another marker on the map down here for some kind of a giant dump of some kind. And it's all, I think it's gonna be mostly modern stuff, but it's just a big pile. It looks like tires or something, but it's not very far down this road, and I'm kind of dying to see what it is. But well, it looks like there is absolutely nothing down here. This would be a good little camping spot though, but what that big pile of tires looked like was actually that juniper tree you see right there in front of us. So pressing on. Actually, before we go, I'm just gonna put a waypoint right there as a nice little place to camp. Perfect. All right, so we just pulled off the road here where I know there's a homestead somewhere. I just don't remember exactly where it is, but I know it's out here somewhere. So I'm gonna find that homestead and start metal detecting and see what I find. All right, there she is. Had to walk around a little bit to find it, but kind of see there's the foundation. And that's all it is. A pretty small one, but we're gonna go ahead and hit this and see what happens. But we gotta do this quick. It's starting to get dark and I gotta pick a place to camp. My first find of the day, and this was inside of the homestead. There you go. All right, looks like we got another find. Ooh, that's cool. All right, we got the second find of the day, a big old spoon. Look at this. This was right outside the front doors where I found this, kind of buried inside of this bush here under the ground. I just pulled it right out. Now that is pretty cool. All right, got another hit right here. Oh, that's nice. So we got so far a plastic fork, a oxygen absorber. What else can we possibly pull out of here? Holy shit. God, would you look at that? Someone buried their friggin' lunch out here. Look at that. It's a mountain house too. I love mountain house. Sweet and sour pork with rice. Well, now we all know not to bury our mountain house holder containers because they do not go away. Green beans. I'm going to throw all this stuff away. It shouldn't be buried out here. That's ridiculous. And you know, this might be punishment for me eating mountain house every time I camp, and this is what I find when I metal detect. You know, this is funny. Look at this. Let me show you guys where this is at. All the way out here by this homestead in the middle of nowhere. The Bronco's way out there. And this metal detector picked up this big stash of mountain house food. All right, so let's have a look at our treasures for the day. We got this really cool spoon and this shell casing, which there's millions of these out here. But of course, you can't forget the stash of mountain house food that was buried out there in the middle of absolutely nowhere. So that is going with me in the trash. Shame on you if you're the one that buried it. All right, well, I think that's enough for one day since we're losing light. So I'm gonna kind of go back the way we came, kind of back where that other homestead was, and see if we can find a place to camp. I'm thinking about camping in that spot where that giant juniper was down. I'm getting kind of hungry. So, you know, for some reason I've lost my appetite for mountain house. Okay, according to our map, we only go back about a quarter mile, and I'm gonna go back to that spot we turned around at. I think that's gonna be a good camp spot. So we're gonna go right about there. All right, here's the spot we chose. Nice and open. I like to have them nice and open unless it's really, really windy. But when it's not, and it's nice and, you know, like this, nice and calm, then I like these spots where I can see things coming from a mile away. So this is where we're gonna camp tonight. This is the front runner chair right here. I like these because they fold up nice and compact, and they also fold up flat, so I can put them up in my rooftop tent. All right, we got the tent all set up, and it's pretty cool because I just keep the fold-up chair in there and the ladder, and all I do when I get to camp is take down the chair and the ladder, and then I throw my clothing bag up there, my sleeping bag, and that's it. Then my inflatable pillow just lives up there all the time. So I don't use an inflatable mattress. I just use the factory 2-inch one that comes in here because it's the best mattress I've ever slept on in a rooftop tent. So I just use that. So anyway, let's get going with dinner because I'm getting hungry. All right, I had a little bit of a headache rolling around out there, probably because I'm not hydrated enough. But this is what's good to keep one of these first aid kits in your vehicle. And this is the one I keep next to my fire extinguisher all the time. And then I have another one in my walk home bag that's in there, which I have a video about in my video pile. But I just keep a little of everything here from, you know, tourniquet, bandages, you know, dressings, some bug off on me, gloves, tape, CPR mask, sunblock, and Tylenol, of course. So just little things to help keep you comfortable when you're out here doing this kind of thing. So I was out with Nate from Off Grid Recon earlier this year, and we were camping, and he had like Christmas light type thing around his rig for his lighting, and I had a big old Ready light. Now I love the Ready light, great light for anyone camping with a family or something. It's the best camp light you can get. Comes in a big nice suitcase, you know, real padded inside, love it. But for what I like to do, which is very minimal camping, it was a little bit too big for me. So what I ended up doing was getting one of those LED strip lights, you know, those ones that you stick in a bedroom for your kids, you know, so they can light up the room with LEDs. You can roll those out and cut them to length. So I just cut a real short length right here. And I already had a little battery pack thing and then a little extension cord. And it just works on a USB. And all I do is plug it in to the battery pack and then plug it into the light strip with the light strip plug here, which is USB, and then tuck this back there. And then I have a nice little lighting area here for my food. And believe it or not, when it gets really dark out, this actually lights up the entire back of the camp. And I most of the time just camp in the back of my rig here, so I don't need lights like all over the place, but it actually is quite bright, and this lasts a really long time because they're LEDs. The only problem you have is that if it starts getting dark and you start cooking here, all the bugs will tend to gather right here where this light is. So you're sitting here cooking and bugs are just buzzing all around your head while you're trying to cook. So I usually try to get my cooking done before it gets dark and the bugs start circling around there. So but you know, after I'm done cooking, I'm done. So then I just have to deal with the bugs if I go in my drawer for something, but pretty neat little deal. All right, let's see what we have here for dinner. We're doing one of my favorites, which is the buffalo style chicken mac and cheese, and then a leftover thing here from a gas station, like a little chicken roll deal, and then a fruit cup. So it's a pretty simple dinner. So I'm gonna get the jet boil out and get the water boiling. Yeah, I think I kind of decided against that chicken wrap deal because I don't think my fridge was that cold. I didn't set the temperature low enough, and I don't want to get sick. So that got pitched, and now we're just gonna have the fruit cup and the mountain house. Getting dark fast, and it is dead quiet out here, which I love. I can't hear anything, no wind, nothing. Now, when it comes to adding water to these mountain houses, I just kind of eyeball it. You know, you don't have to really follow the directions, but try to put a little less than you think, because you can always add more later, but the last thing you want to do is have a soupy mountain house. So once you stir it up really good, then you just close it up, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and you have yourself a nice dinner. So I thought maybe while we enjoy this cup of whiskey, talk a little bit about the subject of how do you find homesteads and where do you get the information to learn about homesteads. And we'll start with the main way that I get my information is mainly I watch other people's channels, and there's quite a few people that do this kind of thing. You know, you got Roscoe and Rev, and then you got you know, Nate, you know, from Off Grid Recon. Then you've got Coyote Works, and Coyote Works is probably my main source of information about how to learn about things out here. He was kind of my inspiration to get out here and do this. So another way is to read books, and there's two in particular books. One of them is In the Ruts of the Wagon Wheels. Another book, my buddy at work turned me on to a book called, my buddy Tyrus actually turned me on to a book called The Oregon Desert, and that is a phenomenal book. I just finished it a couple days ago, and that book is it's a guy who actually grew up. He was one of the surviving homesteaders out here in the Oregon Desert, because when the water dried up, everybody moved. And he lived down by Christmas Valley, and he was one of the few families that actually stayed after everything dried up and was able to survive in the desert with his family. And it talks about from when like he was born to all the way to when he's an old man, and they lived in the same cabin his entire life and lived out here in the Oregon Desert. And he talks about all the characters that lived out here that he knew, and how far he would ride his horse to go get something and come back, and you know, how they got like toys from the Sears catalog delivered to their house. And really, really, really good book. So I'd highly recommend that one. And the last way would be kind of what we did today. You download Gaia onto your phone, you look at the map, see what's BLM land and what's private. And if it's BLM, you go ahead and drive on it and just take these back roads, you know, and just keep your eyes open on the side of the road for things like wood and cans and debris. And if you see it, stop, get out, walk around, you know, and you'll start learning as you look at homesteads kind of what to look for in the next homestead. You know, if you, okay, I see a foundation, I see a can dump, you know, oh, I see a root cellar, you know, I see barbed wire posts. And these things, all homesteads kind of had the same thing for the most part. So, and really just get in your car and drive and just enjoy yourself, and spend a night or two out here in the desert, because you will never find a quieter place on the planet than out here camping. It is dead quiet. It is beautiful. You're completely alone. And it's really a beautiful thing to do. So I would highly recommend doing something like this. All right, so for breakfast this morning, we're not gonna do a big old biscuits and gravy because I'm not really that hungry, so that's out. But what we are gonna have is a liquid IV, Black Rifle coffee, Mandarin oranges, a applesauce squeezy, and a Z-bar. All right, I just need to finish buttoning up a couple of things, and then we're gonna take off. So thanks a lot for joining me on this trip. Hopefully you enjoyed everything we got to see. And you have any questions or comments, put them below in the comment area. And subscribe, like the video. I'll see you next time.